Welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley. Back with another video. Wanted to talk transfer portal today. That was the plan, but then Tennessee got the surprise commit. Defensive back Sidney Walton is in the boat. If you missed that video, go back and give it a watch. Dropped it a little bit earlier, but still wanted to talk transfer portal. And I know it seems like we have been talking about the running back position for the last 7 days because probably we have, right? Dallin Hayden enters the transfer portal, and that kind of felt like a match made in heaven. But then Brent Hubbs, Austin Price over at VolQuest kind of put it out there. Tennessee not likely to add a running back via the portal. That opens up the lines of communication between us because I feel Tennessee does. Some of you guys agree with me. Some of you guys disagree with me. That's the beautiful thing about this channel. We can have adult conversations. We can agree, we can disagree, but we're talking Tennessee football all day, every day, right here on the Talkin VAWLS Network. But now, as the week kind of progressed, Brent Hubbs kind of walked that back and says maybe they are going to look to take a running back via the portal. I've told you my reasons why I believe they need to add a running back. I think they need another body. I don't think Peyton Lewis is going to be ready as a true freshman that's not going through spring camp. Also, Cam Seldon, I know some people have commented that he's going to be back in time for this season. That's not the case. He's likely out till October. And then how healthy is the shoulder? I think they need a body. I think they need a depth piece. And we've now got confirmation that Tennessee has kick the tires with a running back. We're going to get into it and talk about it. But one of the beautiful things I love about transfer portal season, all the names going in, you guys immediately start tagging me on Twitter. You start DMing me. You say, Boogie, what do you think about this guy? This is what I got from one of you, a running back out of Colorado, Alton McCaskill, entered the transfer portal. I got a few DMs. I got tagged on Twitter. Boogie, do you think this running back would fit? And then I go and take a look, and this is just, man, this just shows you the circus that Prime is running out there in Colorado. This is the player's father. If my son's not RB1, we got to go. He was ready last year. He was 100% this year. Unfortunately, I have to find another home where there's no favoritism, and he is valued. So Prime's out there in Colorado showing a little favoritism. He's got his sons on Instagram saying, hey, if you're a defensive player, DM me. If you're an offensive player, DM him. We'll do this. We'll talk about it. You can transfer to Colorado. What an absolute circus. But what I take away from this is he wants to be the guy. He wants to be running back number one. And I don't think Josh Heupel needs to go try to find somebody that's going to replace Dylan Sampson. I think that was a big part when we're talking about Damian Martinez, why that wouldn't work. So when you look at that, Alton McCaskill clearly wants to be RB1. Now, there's another guy out there that I think could be complimentary, and we have confirmation that Tennessee has kicked the tires. We're going to get into it. We're going to talk about it, but as always, I need you guys to do me a favor. Hit that thumbs up just below this video. It's quick, free, easy. It helps the channel. I would greatly appreciate it. Also, if you're new to the Talkin VAWLS Network, welcome. We're not experts here. We're not insiders. We're not media. We don't break news. We don't pretend to be any of that stuff. This channel is for the fans, by the fans. It's fans talking about the news, the rumors, speculation, message board drama. We'll talk about it all right here on the Talkin VAWLS Network. So if you like what we do, make sure you subscribe. Click that bell for notifications. You're not going to miss out when we go live or when we drop a video. We've had some fun live streams the last week or so. Jamal Wallace on the show last night. You missed that. Go back and give it a watch. Also, four-star offensive tackle Jalen Matthews was on the show Sunday night. That was a fun conversation, fun interview with him. We got more fun stuff like that planned moving forward. Also, we go live every Tuesday night playing a little NCAA. But let's get into the news. Let's talk about it. Hayes Fawcett puts out the graphic. Former Louisville running back Penny Boone has heard from these 21 schools since entering the transfer portal. Now, when we say kicking the tires, that's what we're talking about. He's reaching out, they're reaching out, having conversations. When you'll start to see some more here is whether or not he makes it on campus, but this is confirmation that Tennessee is interested in adding a running back. Now, is Penny Boone a guy that kind of fits the mold? Let's kind of go through who he is, what he would bring to the table. Now, this is a guy, when I made a video on Martinez, I kind of mentioned his name that was one floating around some of the message boards. Some of you guys had tagged me on Twitter when he entered the portal. And I brought up this article, and I want to take a look at it again because now we know there's some interest from Tennessee, right? They have reached out to Penny Boone. Says he's set to enter the portal again. Well, what does that mean? It says Louisville running back Penny Boone told ESPN on Monday that he plans to enter the portal, marking his second transfer in 4 months. Goes on to say he left Toledo and entered the portal in January, choosing the Cardinals. He started his career at Maryland before transferring to Toledo, where he was the MAC Offensive Player of the Year in 2023. Ran for 1,400 yards and 15 touchdowns last season and was ranked 8th amongst all FBS backs in rushing yards and number 11 in rushing yards per game. One thing I like is his size. He's listed as 6'1", 242 on ESPN, but I've seen that he could be more around 230, may have lost a little bit of weight there. Just a big, physical, powerful back. Now, I was rolling around trying to look at different news. I was actually listening to a Louisville podcast, and they were talking about Boone entering the transfer portal. He was expected to be the starter this year. Called him a fantastic player. They said they felt like he could have been one of the best running backs in the ACC, if not the country. There were rumors of Louisville NIL checks bouncing. Boone's agent kind of shut that down, so I don't really know that that had anything to do with it. But again, most of the things that I've seen on Twitter or in articles have all been about, man, people did not want Boone to leave Louisville. So that always kind of gives you a gauge of maybe what he could bring to the table. But statistically, numbers-wise, again, ran for 1,400 yards, averaged 7.2 yards per carry, 15 touchdowns. The numbers kind of speak for themselves there, but let's continue through the article. He was a big addition for the Louisville staff as the leading rushers are out the door. The coaches did add Miami running back Donald Chaney through the portal as well, and he will likely have a bigger role with Boone leaving. Prior to Louisville, Boone had been considering Florida State and Kentucky, but it's unclear as of yet if other schools will get in the mix. Coaches are not allowed to contact till he enters the portal. Boone will still have 1 year of eligibility remaining to play for the next school of his choosing. Now, that's something I think is worth mentioning as well, right? He's got 1 year of eligibility, so that's something that Josh Heupel could sit down with him and could say, sit down with the running back room and say, here's the deal, man. Cam's banged up. We got to get Lewis up to speed. Boone's going to come in, and he's going to be one and done. He's going to be here for one season and then hopefully off to the NFL. So I think you can look at it that way and kind of sell your running back room as, hey, you got to be a good teammate here. We need to add him. Now, something I loved, again, floating around the internet, trying to get as much information as I can on Penny Boone. Saw a great quote from his running back coach at Louisville. This was right after he transferred. He was the 6th best running back in the portal when Louisville added him from Toledo. And this is from his running back coach, Chris Barclay. Says, I think he's a fierce and ferocious runner. He's one that you kind of have to pull the reins back on sometimes. He's like a man. He's like a raging bull at times. You know what I mean? And I haven't seen that level of physicality in a while. He goes on to say, I think that gives us an element where you can really wear some people down if you really want to, because they're just not going to want to tackle 230 pounds over and over for 4 quarters. Surprisingly, he moves around well, got good agility. He sees it well as a natural runner. He goes on to say he's got to come along a little bit in pass protection, just the eyes, hands, and feet, just trying to coordinate those things. He's working at it, but he's got the frame to be a 3-down guy. So, again, I love the quote that you got to pull the reins back, right? We've been talking about that with Edwin Spillman, something that Coach Inge has been talking about. Some of the other coaches saying Edwin Spillman goes 100 miles an hour. There's one speed, and that's full speed, and I like hearing that, right? You can't teach aggressiveness. It's either in you or it's not. So when you've got that physical running back and a guy that, again, 230 pounds, and what they're saying that wear these teams down, and that's what Josh Heupel's offense is going to do, but Dylan Sampson can't do it on his own. Like, we know they want to split carries. Can you rely on Deshaun Bishop? Can you rely on Khalifa Keith? Maybe. I don't know. They're unproven. I know some of you guys say, well, everybody's unproven until there aren't, but guess what? I don't think that Penny Boone is unproven, averaging 7.2 yards per carry and 15 touchdowns on the ground a year ago. Also, he has shown you what he can do, but you've also got ratings. Do ratings matter? 6th best running back in the portal when he transferred to Louisville. According to Pete Nakos over at On3, he wants to play in the SEC. Does that factor into this thing? The last thing I saw from Brent Hubbs was, I don't know if Tennessee goes in that direction. So Brent Hubbs knows more than I know. What do you guys think of Penny Boone? Do you think he's a guy that could complement this running back room, or are you just going to continue to double down and say, I don't think we need to add a running back? Because I think this is proof that Josh Heupel wants to add a running back. We'll continue to keep you guys updated. If you missed the commitment video on Sidney Walton earlier, go back and give that a watch. Jump into the comment section. Let's talk about it. As always, smash the thumbs up on the way out the door. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Shout out to all the members of the channel. You are who give me an opportunity to do this full time, and I'm grateful for you. If you like the channel, the content, the videos, the live streams, whatever it is you like about this channel, think about hitting that join button. It's right beside subscribe. For just $1 a month, you're providing support to this channel. You also get custom Talkin VAWLS emojis, access to fan call-in shows, all kinds of fun perks and benefits, but that is going to do it for this one. This is the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley. Go Big Orange.